Let's go live to Dr. Patrick Schoettmer from Seattle University. He's a professor of American politics. Thanks so much for your time. Annalise is there in New Hampshire. She's saying it's not done until the votes are in. Some early indicators suggest there might be an upset, but really that would go against what we're seeing, this huge trend in the polling that has Trump effectively with what many would suggest is a lock on the nomination, Professor.
Well, the polling at the national setting and the polling in New Hampshire has varied a little bit. Former Ambassador Haley has been running a little bit closer in New Hampshire than she has in the national polls. And we have in the past seen late breaks in New Hampshire among independents and undecided voters, where polling suggested, for example, in 2008 that President Barack Obama was going to cruise to a win in the Democratic primary there, but Senator Clinton wound up coming out on top. So it would not be entirely out of character for New Hampshire to deliver an unexpected win to an underdog candidate.
And what would the implications of such a result be for Haley's primary campaign?
Essentially, we could say her campaign is on life support right now, given her showing in Iowa and the fact that nationally, Haley is so far behind Donald Trump in the Republican primary polls. So what this could be, it would be a shot in her arm if she's able to beat President Trump here in New Hampshire, a state where she has long claimed that she would expect to win and has only recently begun to play down expectations. I think a lot of observers or a lot of people within the Republican Party are really looking for her to win and move ahead. If she's blown out of the water, she'll probably need to be pushed out sooner rather than later. If she keeps it close, she might make a credible argument to stay in until South Carolina, where she was born and where she used to serve as governor. But the pressure on in the Republican Party will be growing on her to drop out and unite behind Trump if she can't beat him here in New Hampshire.
And when you look at the down the track and versus Biden, there is a suggestion among some analysts in the US and elsewhere that the Democratic Party wants Trump to be the nominee because he alienates so many. That being said, you look at those national polls you referred to earlier, he still, according to many of those polls, has the edge over Joe Biden in 2024.
Yeah, the Democratic Party played a similar strategy in 2022, where they had an option of lending some support for Republicans who had voted to impeach President Trump in 2020 or to boost more extreme candidates. And they chose to boost the more extreme candidates in 2020. That wound up working for them at the polls, but it is a very dangerous strategy that many observers inside and outside the Democratic Party have raised questions about. It is likely that President Trump is a better matchup for President Biden just because he has beaten him in the general election before, but he beat him as a challenger and not as an incumbent. And the race looks a little different when you're sitting in the Oval Office and when you're trying to get in.
And off the back of an inflationary environment, tough economic conditions for many, Patrick Schoettmer, Professor of American Politics at Seattle University, thanks so much for your insights.